They told you success was a straight line. Go to school, get good grades, follow the rules, obey, apply, be patient, wait your turn, work hard, retire, die. They told you it was safe, predictable. They told you the blueprint was already written, that if you just followed the path, you'd make it. But they lied. They lied to your face. And the worst part? They believed it too. Because the truth is this: success was never designed for the obedient. It was built for the relentless, for the risk-takers, for the madmen with vision, for the obsessed, who don't need motivation because they have conviction. You want the truth? Success is not pretty. It's not convenient. It doesn't come with instructions. And it sure as hell doesn't care about your feelings. It demands pain. It demands faith in the dark. It demands that you become someone who refuses to quit, even when the world laughs, rejects, and walks away. But you were never told that. You were told to fit in, to be realistic, to aim for average, to be grateful for what you've got, even when your soul was screaming for more. They told you dreams were dangerous, that failing was embarrassing, that trying too hard made you weird, that wanting to be wealthy made you greedy. They trained you to settle. They trained you to shrink, to hide your voice, to play it safe, to dim your light so someone else wouldn't feel insecure. They said success would come if you just worked hard, but they never told you that effort without strategy is just movement. They said, be nice, be liked, don't rock the boat, but they never told you that no one changes the world by playing small. And now, here you are, older, frustrated, burned out, still waiting for success to show up. But deep down, knowing something's wrong. You feel it, don't you? The pressure, the pull, that inner voice, the one you've tried to silence with distractions, telling you there's more than bills, more than the 9-to-5 trap, more than working your whole life to build someone else's dream. You weren't born to repeat the past. You were born to break it. And that's why this hurts. Because something inside you knows the truth. They lied to you. But now, you have a choice. You can stay asleep, keep believing what they told you, that you're too late, that you're not ready, that people like you don't get rich, that people like you don't build legacy, that people like you should just be realistic. Or you can wake up, decide that enough is enough, and rewrite the damn story. The world doesn't need more polite, passive souls waiting to be saved. The world needs people on fire. People who have nothing left to lose. People who are so sick of waiting, they decide to become the storm. That's what success really is. Not a job, not a degree, not a lucky break. It's a transformation. A violent shift from who you've been into who you were born to be. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it's lonely. Yes, it will break you down before it builds you back up. But you were built for it. You were built for war. You were built for greatness. You just forgot. They trained you to forget. But now we remember. They told you the world was fair, that success is earned by good people who follow the rules, that hard work alone would take you there. But if hard work was enough, every broke person working 3 jobs would be a millionaire. You've been sold a lie. Not just one, but a system of lies. A quiet, polite prison. They told you to avoid failure, but the truth is, success only lives on the other side of failure. They told you to be humble, but humility without power is just obedience in disguise. They told you to wait your turn, but turns are for people waiting in lines, not building empires. And worst of all, they told you to be realistic. Realistic? Tell that to Wright brothers who believed man could fly, to Edison who failed 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb, to Ford who mass-produced vision in steel and rubber when others said horses were the future. Do you think those men were realistic, or do you think they were obsessed? Do you think Carnegie, Disney, Mandela, or Hill himself followed the rules? They rewrote the rules, and you can too. But first, you have to recognize the trap. The trap is comfort. The enemy is average. The poison is good enough. They lied to you because they wanted you tame, predictable, calm, dependable, easy to control. Because a man with a definite purpose is dangerous. He can't be manipulated. He can't be distracted. He doesn't beg for permission. He moves with intention. He builds while others talk. That's why they buried your ambition under systems, grades, titles, expectations, fear. They told you not to fail because they knew failure makes you fearless. They told you to follow instead of lead because they knew the moment you stepped into your power, you'd become. You do not break. It's the reason why some people become unstoppable and others quit every time it gets inconvenient. Do you want to know the truth about success? It doesn't come from discipline. It comes from identity. People don't rise to their goals. They fall to their standards. They rise when the way they see themselves no longer matches the way they're living, because eventually the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the fear of change. That's when you snap. That's when the decision becomes permanent. Not emotional, not hype, not a Monday morning surge of motivation, but a total internal shift. I don't miss workouts. I don't waste time. I don't explain my vision to people who gave up on theirs. I don't hit snooze. I don't tolerate broke thoughts in a wealthy mind. That's a standard. And you don't have to scream about it. You don't have to prove anything, because people feel it in your presence. They feel your energy shift, your tone tighten, your focus sharpen, because now you're not interested in trying. You're only interested in becoming. And when your identity shifts, your entire world begins to follow. Your mornings become precise, your decisions become clean, your circle gets smaller, your confidence builds quietly, and your results start looking like luck to the undisciplined. But you know what it really is. 1,000 private decisions made when no one was watching, and most of them before sunrise. This is the shift, where success stops being a theory and starts becoming a lifestyle, where belief becomes evidence, not just because you hope it'll work, but because you've now become the kind of person who always finds a way, because now you're led by something stronger than motivation. Conviction. Motivation is a spark. Conviction is a furnace. And conviction comes from one place, knowing that who you're becoming is finally aligned with who you were born to be. And you can feel it in your pace, in your tone, in your energy. You're no longer hoping to win. You're expecting it, because you've already paid the price in silence. That's what success requires. A reconstruction of everything you once believed about who you are. Not a better version of the past, but a new force entirely. Because let's get real, your goals don't change your life. Your standards do. They sold you the dream of luxury, fast cars, nice homes, fancy vacations, a lifestyle that looks good on the outside, but does nothing for your soul. But success was never about the car. It was never about the watch. It was never about the flex. That's just the candy they use to keep you chasing comfort instead of calling. Because when you chase lifestyle, you're chasing validation. You want to look successful. You want to feel accepted. You want people to think you've made it. But legacy is different. Legacy doesn't care what you wear. It cares what you build. Legacy is quiet. It's long. It's heavy. It's lonely. And it's eternal. Legacy is the decision to live your life in a way that echoes long after you're gone. And that's what they never taught you. They said, get the job. They said, make money. They said, be comfortable. But they never asked you, what will your name mean 100 years from now? Will it vanish when you're gone? Or will your work, your decisions, your discipline live on in people you may never even meet? Because here's the truth. Lifestyle is about ego. Legacy is about impact. Lifestyle ends the moment your income does. Legacy begins the moment your name is mentioned and people rise because of what you stood for. When Carnegie gave away 90% of his wealth to build libraries and change education, that was legacy. When Edison pushed through thousands of failures to bring light to the world, that was legacy. When Napoleon Hill spent 20 years interviewing the greatest minds on earth to give the world Think and Grow Rich, that was legacy. You don't need millions to leave one. You need courage. You need direction. You need a standard for your name. Because success is not about doing what you feel like. It's about doing what you were called to do, even when it's inconvenient, even when it hurts, even when no one claps, even when you're tired, alone, and full of doubt. You still show up. You still build. You still believe. You still move. Because you're not living for likes anymore. You're living for legacy. You're done chasing weekends. You're done fitting in. You're done diluting your truth to be digestible to small minds. Now, you walk like your name matters. You speak like your words carry weight. You train like your body is sacred. You invest like time is running out. You wake up like there's a kingdom to build. You lead like someone is watching, because they are. Your children, your future self, the ones coming after you. They're watching, and you're writing the blueprint for them right now. And here's the truth. Success doesn't come to those who want it most. It comes to those who refuse to live without it. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to be the most talented. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be relentless. Relentless in your vision. Relentless in your standards. Relentless in your commitment to yourself. Because the world doesn't believe in dreams. It believes in evidence. Show it. Don't post it. Don't preach it. Prove it. With your habits. With your calendar. With your actions at 5 a.m. when no one is watching but your future self. Let your results make the noise. Let your work do the speaking. Let your presence be a storm. This is your turning point. This is the moment you stop waiting to become someone and decide to be them, not tomorrow, now. Because every second you delay, your old life is waiting to pull you back in. And every second you decide, your new life is building momentum. You are not your past. You are not your fears. You are not what they called you. You are not the failure they remember. You are the fire they can't explain. You are the force they didn't see coming. And this is the life they said you'd never have. But you will. Because while they were sleeping, you were working. While they were scrolling, you were building. While they were laughing, you were focused. And while they were waiting for permission, you were already gone.